Hunt Showdown 1896 is an exciting extraction game we've been seeing so much, but we're not going to tell you about it. Today, our guest is Septic Falcon, and he, a avid lover and player of this game, is going to tell himself why you guys should try this game out. Septic Falcon, they already know your name, but can you tell them the brand and theme of like what you do in gaming?
So I try to cover games in the survival genre. I do play many other games as well, but survival is my main focus. And Hunt Showdown arrived in 2019, and it just blew my mind. It was the perfect mix of that old Wild West shootout and extraction genre. That's kind of a offshoot of the survival genre, and it really piqued my interest. Being a huge fan of the Wild West movies when I grew up, so it was just ideal for me to jump in day one, and I've loved it ever since.
Now, taking a step back, when did you get your start in content creation? Like, when did you just go, hey, I want to start making content?
So I started creating content in about 2011, and I started making videos with my friends on Daisy Mod when that first came out, and I decided why not record and make memories with my friends? And it was purely just gameplay, not really edited well. It was, very basic microphones, headset microphones, so it doesn't sound great. They're all on my channel if you go back far enough. Nothing too amazing. It was 10 FPS in Daisy mod, as many people can remember. But yeah, it was just something we could go back to and have a laugh about. Remember this when this happened, and it kind of evolved over time as I improved my hardware into something that people seem to enjoy. And then, as we heard of the announcement of Daisy standalone, that I got more serious in the content creation scene and decided to learn how to edit a bit better and produce some sort of higher quality content for people as my viewer count was raising for some reason and I didn't quite know why, but people must have enjoyed what I was doing. Um, and it led into more and more technically advanced content, showcases and developer reports and interviews with developers of DayZ, and the channel just grew and grew from there to what it became.
Being such a veteran of survival games, what actually made you interested in Hunt Showdown 1896?
So, like I said, the Wild West spin really attracted me. But as time went on, and during my content creation process, I had 4 children. And Daisy, towards the end of where I finished creating Daisy content regular, was becoming more and more unrealistic for me. As people know, it can take 6 hours on a Daisy run and you don't see anything. Suddenly get shot in the back and you start all over again. For me, I can't sit at the PC now for 6 hours and feel like I've not achieved much. I always love Daisy and it's brought without Daisy, I wouldn't know you probably, and all the friends that I've met over the years, and it's given me a lot of opportunities. But I needed a game that was going to be a lot more suitable to my schedule. After gaining 4 children in the process, and Hunt Showdown was 45-minute matches. Get in, get out. I can have a couple of matches, maybe two, three. I knew I was guaranteed in that time some PvP, and that'd get my survival fix in with the extraction mode, and play with some friends and have a good laugh. And I just fell in love with the game.
We heard about what piqued your interest in this game, but what actually made you fall in love with this game overall?
So I'd say there's probably a few things. The shootouts is really what grabbed me. It's a proper old west single action shootout, and you just got guns going off everywhere. The cool guns, the cowboy guns. Yeah, it's just you even if you lose a gunfight, if it lasts 10, 15 minutes and you're running around, you're trying to, be tactical and use your tools to your advantage in any way, and you take out a few of your opponents, but then you end up dying, your adrenaline's going, you had a good time, I'm happy. And the Hunt really delivers that for me in a way that other games don't. The shootouts you can have in Hunt are something else. The gunplay is amazing, and the audio is probably, if not the best, it's one of the best. The where you can tell where players are. above you, below you, around you. You just really know where people are through just the audio.
I have to say, one of the things that I kind of found out about the game when I was researching it is that the guns are all nowadays fully unlocked, but it's their basic versions of them. And the more and more you use the gun, the more and more, not necessarily attachments you unlock for the gun, but the different designs and uses for the gun, right? And I thought that was kind of such a cool premise for an extraction survival game to do that it kind of really just made sense. Like, your character becomes more comfortable with it, so he like ends up in himself creating different versions of it, and they become kind of useful. Like, I think some of them end up like having like silencers or permanently attached to them, or they're sawed off, which changes the weapon slot they go into as well. And I kind of found that to be like part of that gun shootout thing that you're telling me about.
Essentially, it's constantly evolving with what you unlock, so your playstyle can totally change. So if you're using a particular weapon, it might be unlocked from the start, but once you use that weapon enough via killing either the AI in the world, the zombies or monsters, or the bounty target, or other players, you will eventually unlock the next tier of that weapon. So it'll either have, like you say, a suppressor, sawn off, or it can have a melee weapon. So you can have a bayonet or a club on the buttstock end of the weapon, and then it becomes a multi-use weapon.
And you spoke about the monsters. This is a PvPvE game, and part of one of the game modes, the hunt, is you actually have to collect these coins or these bounties to be able to get off. But there are so many other obstacles in the game. Which one of these monsters in the game actually are the most annoying to you?
The two that really annoy me are the hive, which is a lady that's got a hive growing out of her chest, a beehive, and if she aggroes on you, she'll send bees from her rib cage to come and sting you, and it poisons you. It affects your sight, um, and yeah, it damages you as well over time, and it can kill you rather quickly. So if you're in the middle of a gunfight and you get pushed by the players, but then a hive's attacking you suddenly because she can be on a roof above you, in like a swampy bit, hidden away. But suddenly, her wasps are stinging you. Players are over that way. Which way do you go? You got to do something. So, but you're already blinded by her bee stings, so it can get crazy. The other
Yeah.
AI is the dogs, the hellhounds.
Mm.
They come in packs. So if you're not careful in a fight and you don't clear the AI, the most dangerous, which is a good tactic, is to take them out quietly, even knife them, knuckle dusters, or if you've got a suppressed weapon, shoot them with a suppressor quickly before you enter a building. So if you know, if I get in a fight here, I'm not going to have to fall back into a load of hellhounds, because when they attack you, they make you bleed because they're biting you. And if you don't stop that bleed, you're going to drop dead. So while you're getting rid of that bleed or fire, in both cases, you can't do anything because your hands are busy putting out the fire or stopping the bleed by bandaging you. You can't shoot back. So it really puts you at a disadvantage when those monsters get involved in a fight, when you're fighting other players.
It sounds like it can get real fast. It sounds like a lot of stuff can happen all at once, really getting that adrenaline pumping. I think one of the monsters I would find myself to be really troublesome is the meathead. Because once you get poisoned, it attacks you, and I can see being
Oh yeah.
stuck between the beehive lady and the meathead, or the players shooting you with poison ammo can even make the meathead aggro to you.
So it can work both ways, either frustrate you because you're the one being attacked, or make it attack somebody else. There's quite a few possibilities with all the different ammo types and monsters that you can trigger different scenarios. Really,
Even the monsters have all of their own unique sounds and their own unique like ways you deal with them. Like, if you take out the bee lady, she doesn't just make the same sound as taking out a grunt, and so on and so forth with the other ones. So players themselves actually nearby, if they hear one of them attacking you, they can tell when one of them died if they're listening carefully enough. And I find that effort to make almost everything have a unique sound is one of the things that makes the kind of shootouts that you're talking about so unique. But what is it about the PvP, besides the amazing looking guns, the unique ammo, and the danger of triggering these other mobs to attack you, that really made you go, this is the PvP I want? This is a PvP I adore.
I think it's a little bit harder. There's no full automatic weapons, so nobody can spray and pray you. I mean, there is one weapon that's kind of like that, the automat, which is a burst fire Mosin. But usually it's only the sweats that use that, and they run in because it's a pretty expensive weapon. So I generally have only, I think I've only used it once or twice actually. I don't really like it because it's got a lot of kick to it and it's expensive. So if you miss, you die, you lost it. It's a lot of money. Um, so I like the single action. I go in with the Colt single action army revolver and a nice lever action rifle, or something like that. I like to keep it basic cowboy style, and I love that, the gunslinger style.
Now, it's not all just about the weapons you're using and the skill in which you can use it as just a person playing this game. There's actually hunters that you can take and choose and level up, or rather rank up. But there's also personal traits that you can apply to them to make them more efficient inside of these hunt extraction modes.
Yeah, so they are constantly changing and evolving, the same as anything else in the game. The traits that you can purchase to make your hunter a little bit better in certain ways. So if you're rocking the bow and arrow, for instance, you can take a trait that will make your bow a little bit more powerful when it's fully strung. Uh, there's some that can make you, which was actually just recently added again, I think at the beginning of the Murder Circus event, where you hold, if you've got a single shot rifle that you pop the shell out, have to put a new shell in each time, you can hold shells between your fingers with this trait. So you pop the shell out and grab one really quick. Instead of going to your pocket, you go into your fingers that's holding the rifle and pop around in half the time. So essentially, it's nearly making it like a lever action or a bolt action speed. Um, Obviously, the traits cost points to buy and upgrade, and you have to keep your hunter alive long enough to get enough points through winning a bounty hunt and extracting. And then you get like a random amount of points depending on how well you did. So, say you got 20 points, then you could buy whichever might suit you for that particular next match. Um, they all cost a different amount. Some of them are quite cheap, from like 1 point all the way up to, I think it's 9 points, I think, something like that.
Yeah, I think
For
a doctor one does
Yeah,
9
physician. I
points.
think physician
Yeah.
is 9. Um, just going off memory now. Photographic memory that's not really there. So it's
Well,
yeah,
wait
it's
a minute. Did you just say if your hunter lives long enough? So these hunters you can use or maybe purchase, they can die?
Yeah, so there's a hunter page that you can see all of the hunters that you have, and they cost $100 dollars each. Now that obviously takes that $100 out of your wallet, and you can earn that. That's in-game currency that you earn through playing the game. If you do well, you earn more, and the same as XP. But if you die with that hunter, you will lose him and all the progress you've made with that hunter. So if you want to get all those traits on him and make him a lot more powerful than, say, a fresh character that's only got 3 traits, because they usually start with 3 traits. You can modify those traits by removing the traits that it comes with, and then whatever points it gives you from selling those traits, you can put the ones you want in. And, so yeah, if you've got a character up to, say, they max out at 50, so if you've got one to 40, you're nearly at 50, and then you die, it's gone. You got to buy that character again, reload him out with new guns, and try again.
Oh man, that is definitely quite hardcore to think about. Like, put all this time to the character, getting it all leveled up and everything else, and you're just careless one match and boom, gone.
Yeah, because
That is that's
there is an achievement on Steam to get 5 full ranked hunters in your roster together. I took me ages to get it. I think it was when achievements was first added. But yeah, it's not an easy achievement to get, but I did it.
now, I don't want to scare people off because I already know this, but there also is kind of like a general progression rank as kind of just like a player of the game you can get, right? Or is it just only your hunters ranking up?
Yeah, so as long as well as ranking up your hunters, there's also like an account rank. So you're progressing through up to level 100, and then you can prestige at 100. So, and that sets you back to 1, but you also unlock a new reward when you prestige. That could be, I believe, some blood bonds, which is the paid currency in the game, which you can earn through just playing the game. Or it can be a weapon skin, a rare weapon skin from Prestigion, or a rare hunter skin, a rare character. If you get all the way to Prestige 100, which is reaching 100 times, you get a super rare 100 hunter, which I think is not many people have, to be fair, because they don't bother prestiging. Because if you prestige, all of your gear resets. You go back to level 1, and it has a progression bar. So from 1, you might have half, maybe a third of the guns unlocked, and they'll be very basic. They'll be the ones without suppressors and things that we spoke about. But as you progress, you'll unlock a certain rifle or a certain medical item that's super useful. Um, so to start off with, you might have a regeneration shot that regenerates your health for 4 minutes slowly. But when you get to a certain level, you'll unlock a large regeneration shot that lasts 10 minutes. And that's super handy. If you're going to get in a gunfight, you pop one of them in your hands, for 10 minutes, your health's going to slowly regenerate. So if you get shot, you hide, it regenerates on its own. You ain't got to worry about healing so much. So the progression is quite in depth. It always gives you something to work towards to unlock, and you can look at it as well, so you can see what's coming up next. And you say, "Oh well, a couple of levels, I'll unlock that, and I'll give that a try." So, and that's on top of obviously using a weapon to unlock a suppressor. It's just constantly unlocking things, so it's never a dull moment really.
Yeah, you're just always doing it, from the tools to the consumables to getting better weapons, etc., etc. There's so much to this game. We've talked about the PvP, the PvE, the progression for guns, the player, the ranking of the hunters. But at the end of the day, while there is another mode which allows you to do kind of like a battle royale, the core mode hunt, what's the end game there? Why play this extraction hunt mode? What is the purpose of it?
So we're all going into this world, and according to the law, the a curse comes from the bayou, the swamps, and that's where the monsters have come from. And we're going in there as hunters to get rid of the curse and the monsters, and then find the bounty, which is the main boss in the area, and get the bounty for it, and then get out alive, so we can collect our bounty, make our rewards, our XP, and our money. So that's essentially the target and the reason we're doing that. And obviously, you're fighting against other players as hunters that are also hired to do that same job. So we're all out there for our own gain, and we'll kill anything that moves to get there. So it's quite a fascinating take on the genre, and one of the many reasons why I really like it.
Nice. Now, as your final pass on this, truthful and honest opinion about Hunt Showdown 1896. Tell us in a short 30 seconds why you think players would either enjoy or not enjoy this game.
So I think if you're tired of the faster paced extraction shooters, or survival games that take too long, and you want something you can get in quick and get some PvP action and just have some cool shootouts, grab a couple of friends. You can play duos, solo, or trios. And yeah, it's just an amazing time to be had. If you haven't tried it, I'd highly recommend it. It goes on sale quite often as well, as it's a couple of years old now. But like I said, they've recently done a massive engine upgrade, UI upgrade, audio upgrade. They also upgraded the audio technology, so it's even better now than it was before. There's still ongoing tweaks because there were some things that people didn't like, but they are super hard on fixing and getting to player feedback from what I've seen anyway. I know there are players that aren't upset with certain choices, but I think they're heading in a direction gameplay wise that I still can't really complain about. And it's just perfect for my lifestyle and the scenario that I live in right now. Just to get those few games in, have a laugh with some friends, cool shootouts. I'm happy.
Love it. That was beautiful. And where can people learn more about this game if this entire interview didn't convince them and maybe watch you play the game as well?
Yeah, so they can check out on the Hunt Showdown website as well as their official YouTube channel where they upload their soundtracks and trailers and videos on the update teasers for the new events and all that cool stuff where you can see what's coming down the line with Hunt. Or you can check me out on my Twitch channel, Septic Falcon, or YouTube. There's quite a few Hunt videos on there as well, with cool shootouts, so you can get a good grasp on what the gameplay is like if you, well, not so much cool if I die, but I try and keep it all in there so you see the good and the bad. But yeah, hopefully some of that footage might tickle your fancy and convince you to click the button to buy it.
I love it, and there is so much fun to be had watching Septic Falcon play the Hunt Showdown 1896. This is why we actually had him on, because I've never played the game, folks, in my entire life, but watching him play this game and the passion he has for it, and a lot of the humor that happens, definitely made me think having him on would be a great way to talk to you guys about this game. But Septic Falcon, do you have any final thoughts, shout outs, or appreciation to share out to the community?
I just really want to say I appreciate the community that's stuck by me and continue to support me in the small parts that I still do on the Twitch and YouTube. I know I'm not about as much as I used to be, but those people that have stuck by me or they pop their head in every now and then, it just means the world to me. So I just really just a shout out to everybody really, and the community is amazing. Especially the DayZ community, and like I said earlier, we wouldn't know each other if it weren't for that probably. So it's just created so much opportunity for all of us. That's it's just up and up from there really.
Well, folks, join me in thanking Septic Falcon for coming onto the show and telling us about this amazing game, Hunt Showdown 1896. Thank you very much for watching the State of Survival podcast. Septic Falcon's link and all of his socials will be down below in the description, as well as a link to the game's store page if you're interested. Thank you very much for watching. Ta ta for now.